This is the Sportswallet podcast. Welcome back. We took a week hiatus, but we're back. I hope you guys enjoyed that bankroll episode. But we're back with some picks and some big money this week. So first off, let me introduce myself. They call me TMB. I'm Turtleneck Bets. My partner to across from me, that is Pocket Picks, Triple P, we like to call them. And then, of course, the namesake of the show, we got the Sports Wallet. So let's get right into it. Before we get into any picks, you know, there's a lot of talk about Aaron Rodgers taking a flight out to New York. We already got Lazard on the Jets now, right? So how you guys feeling about that?
I think it makes him a contender. I think the Jets are back. I think if I'm a Jet fan, I'll be totally excited right now. It's the best quarterback you could get your hands on in a division that you need to compete with Josh Allen. You know, you got a lot of players to compete with. I think definitely the Jets, you know, I said it a couple episodes ago that I seen them going to the Jets.
You did. I ain't see it.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense for both teams to get it. The only issue I'm having is get it done. Well, what are we playing with at this point? You know, if I was ownership, I wouldn't fly out to go see a player if I didn't know the trade was done already. You know what I'm saying? Now Aaron says, yeah, I want to go to your team and the trade's not done yet. I just sign Allen Lazard.
Yeah.
Well, what am I signing players for if I don't know if the deal's done? So the pressure to me is all on the Jets to just make sure you find whether you got to give them a second-round pick, whether you got to do what you got to do to close the deal at this point.
You think he figured out he wanted to go to the Jets when he went to the dark place?
No, that's what he said. He was 90% retired before he went to the dark place that he was getting.
What was it called? What do you call it?
Oh, the dark retreat.
The dark retreat.
Where he got high and was just acting crazy probably.
I think that's cap, by the way. I don't think he was ever retiring. Before he left, he was like, he thought he had all the balls in his court. He could do whatever he wanted. He's doing the, you can't fire me, I quit kind of thing right now. Once he realized that Packers, you know, it was not an option for him.
Because they don't want him.
Now all of a sudden he wanted to go to the Jets the whole time, which I also don't believe. And then the other thing is why I think the Jets are getting him, which makes me a little bit mad, is because no one even, especially the Raiders, no one else even attempted for him, which I think is insanity. And I really think even if you looked at a little snippet of the interview he had on McAfee's show the other day, kind of alluded to Devontae, I think if we had made any attempt whatsoever, we would have got him. But that's neither here nor there. Getting back to what's going on right now, the Jets are trying to squeeze him. Straight like that. I mean, Green Bay is trying to squeeze the Jets.
Yeah, they're trying to get as much as they can for Aaron.
They're just trying to waste as much time as possible. They can't move on with their off season. You know,
Jets.
Give us a second. Give us a second. Obviously,
Aaron Rodgers.
they're not completely on. So eventually, they're hoping that they'll just cave into their demands. I would be super happy if I was a Jets fan. I'm happy for all the people I know who are Jets fans. So
the sports books
should be exciting.
Sports books definitely think Aaron Rodgers is coming.
I don't know how you can be excited about that.
Somehow, you know, they got better odds to win the Super Bowl than the Giants.
Well,
right now.
you know, again,
there was a lot of bets that were placed recently. You know, once they heard that they was talking to Aaron Rodgers, you know, all the people try to like get it beforehand. You know, try to catch these sports sites.
There's a lot of hype,
before they
obviously.
Get the news, yeah.
But there should be a lot of good games. Obviously, they got the Bills in their division, the Dolphins, the AFC in general.
The Jets with Aaron Rodgers will win the AFC East. Boy.
There you go.
Be excited, Jet fans.
You heard it from Sportswallet himself.
Now. Be excited, Jet fans.
But
close the deal.
Let's get excited about something I'm excited about. I hope everybody saw the World Baseball Classic yesterday. So Boricua's out here smacking the Dominican team. So World Baseball Classic right now is entertaining. Venezuela's looking like a powerhouse.
Yeah, we got something for them, though.
Yeah, we came back a little something.
We got something.
They went up 7-0 early.
Check your odds. Puerto Rico got like plus 3,000 right now to win the Classic. They got a lot of heart, a lot of feisty team. We might not have as many stars as some of these other teams, but you can't underrate the heart. The heart goes a long way.
DR took a hard L, too, especially with the closer. The Mets got to be
Yeah, they were one of the favorites, too. Yeah. The only sad part about that game, PRDR, was that the Puerto Rico team didn't really get to celebrate how they wanted to celebrate. Yeah. And after a big win like that, they deserved it. But once Edwin Diaz went down, you know, the whole team, the vibe, it just changed. Now, I think that's also something to keep your mind on because we might play some inspired baseball due to the fact that we just had our closer go down. So we might want to win it for him.
And best closer in baseball.
I think that's more impactful, obviously, on the Mets, one thing.
Oof.
And then also just the way everything's viewed. Next time around, hopefully this doesn't happen because, it's an MLB-sanctioned event. But, they're going to be way more apprehensive to letting any type of stars go and play.
Yeah.
So
free the players, man. Let them play.
You know what I mean? But I like it as an event. I think
to these players, it means more than the World Series. If you listen to what Edwin Diaz said, he said before that game, he said this game to me is bigger than Game 7 of the World Series.
The Mets said,
so that's what it means.
$20 million.
You even listen.
Got hurt.
You even listen to American players like Mike Trout. Mike Trout said it's the most fun he's had in a long time. So I think for these players, it's a benefit when they get back to their respective teams.
Yeah, when you play for your country, it's different, man. You even see with the USA.
Absolutely.
You watched that documentary when they were talking when LeBron was playing with Kobe and that team, the redemption team, after they lost. When you have to play, when you're playing for your country, it's different.
Puerto Rico.
So Puerto Rico looking like real good odds right now.
Me gusta la chocha de Puerto Rico. Me gusta la chocha. Put that Bad Bunny on, man. Titi me preguntó.
Besides World Baseball Classic, we also got March Madness. And in this episode, we want to talk about how you bet March Madness, how you make some money off of all these games.
So crazy. March Madness had the people going crazy right now. They buzzing, right?
So lucky for you, we got an expert in March Madness and college basketball, Sportswallet. Going to give you guys some insight on how to make some money out this tournament.
A lot of money to be made. The March Madness is a big betting thing for a lot of bettors. They spend more than what they usually spend during these times just due to the fact there's a lot of games. You got 10, 12 games right now on the slate. They start off early, so you could hit them early and play later with your winnings. You understand? So it's an exciting time for bettors right now. If you ask me, one of my favorites right now to win the tournament would be Alabama. They have plus 750 odds right now, which is not bad for a big-time favorite. My second little sleeper team would be Texas. I also feel they have an opportunity to win the chip as well. Got a lot of exciting games, man. These college kids are really into these tournament games. I love to see what's gonna actually happen.
My pick, which I picked in preseason, and nothing's really happened to deter that, would be Houston. They've only lost 3 times all year. They're plus 450, so they're
they're a favorite.
They're a favorite, but
they ain't winning.
Looking at their even looking at their like section of the bracket to get to the Final Four. I really don't see anybody in there that could even really beat them, to be honest with you.
I just don't see them closing the deal. I don't see them being the kind of team that can really finish. You got some of these teams, they lost to Memphis. They lost to, they didn't even win the championship of their conference.
I just like Houston because they're very well-rounded. They got 4 double-digit scorers.
They lost to Memphis. And being that they lost to Memphis, Roberts, that's also one of the games that I'm targeting for my Friday NCAA March Madness picks. Would be Memphis over Florida Atlantic. I also have 2 more for you in store. I have a sleeper team. My Cinderella team right now would be VCU.
I like VCU also.
We've made a lot of money with VCU. We don't feel like this is the time we can get off after, so much money we made during the season with them. So VCU is one of the teams. They play St. Mary's, which is, I think, a good matchup for them. They're underdogs, so we're not picking a favorite. This is not, they're plus 4.5 at the moment. We're considering taking the money line.
Okay.
Sounds good to
Memphis,
me. Can't argue with that.
You going with the spread or you rocking the money line?
Well, the Memphis spread, since Florida Atlantic is such a good team and they only have a few losses,
they're
it's
good.
only 1.5.
90
I anticipate it being a tough game. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy game, but Memphis just beat Houston. So if they just beat the favorite to win the college chip, I don't think they're going to lose to a mid-major at this point.
What I like in the same vein is that I like the USC-Michigan State matchup, which is a 10-7. I would like you... I wouldn't be surprised if USC won that as well. Michigan State, they have not been like a classic Michigan State this type of team this year.
Not a Tom Izzo team.
They've lost a lot of games, and I don't know. I like USC. So I don't have a huge like deep Cinderella team, but for an underdog, I like USC.
We lost that sports wallet on the screen for a minute. I had to put it back for you guys.
So tomorrow. NCAA,
put the logo. They forgot what podcast
targeting
it was.
Memphis, targeting VCU. You want to get greedy? We also like Indiana over Kent State. But if you take Indiana, just money line them. So those are 3 college games that we're targeting for tomorrow. We didn't give you one. We gave you, that's a parlay if you want to get stupid crazy.
Memphis, VCU, Indiana. Now you going with the spread on Memphis? They plus, what, 6 now?
No, they 1.5 at the
They 1.5?
And I'm just taking the 1.5. I'm gonna lay the points at this point.
So Memphis plus 1.5, VCU you money lining.
Yeah, which they're getting 4.5. We might go both ways and take the spread and money line. It also comes down to your risk tolerance. If you count on 0, take the points, man. If your account is, you done been making money with us, you done seen what the wallet could do, then take a money line and get greedy and let's get to it.
That makes sense. So my rule of thumb is usually if you go on parlay, take the points, man. Take the points. You got 3-4 ways, 3-4 things that got to win for you to hit. You know, don't shoot yourself in the foot and try to money line something when you can.
Watch the bankroll episode before you do anything.
Yeah, watch the bankroll.
Watch that bankroll episode.
Be safe. You know, practice bankroll management. You know, don't get crazy because you won 2-3 straight parlays in a row. Now you know what happens. People win 2-3 straight parlays, they start feeling overconfident. They're like, the wallet is the greatest thing since sliced bread. You know what I'm saying? But you still got to maintain the same management. Yeah. If you were betting $25 before, don't start betting 1,500 because you won 500. Don't keep betting that same 25. Let's keep building. That means you got 10, 20 bets you can play on.
Yep.
So please, money management is very important. I see it all the time where people get overly excited over some wins. And just one loss, a cost of their whole bank.
Yeah.
Hate to see
you hit 10 little bets and then you make one big bet that wiped all your winnings.
Think about that. You 10-1. Most people would be bragging, right? I'm 10-1, and your count is on even or on 0. You should never be 0, even if we went 10-1. You should be up a lot of money. Actually,
there's a similar kind of thing when you play poker. Obviously, I'm a poker player. That you win all these little pots, and
you go all in on a big pot.
And you get skunked on the one that all the other shit didn't even matter.
Yeah. It's too much work put into it to give it up at once, man. Yeah. I look into the work that we put into it. So we put 9-10 games straight. Like, I'm not trying to give it up in one game. Not at all, man.
It's about giving yourself outs and chances and things like that.
Enjoy the money. No, enjoy the money, too. Like, take the winners. Do something nice for yourself. Make sure you took a little bit out. You didn't leave it all in the account. You know, gamble responsibly.
Buy something nice for your wife.
Yeah. Well, if we're talking about bad decisions, let's get into our next topic, man. Ja Morant. What you guys?
That was a nice segue, bro.
Yeah, I've been doing this a couple weeks now.
Super bad decision, man. Super bad decision. Now they even released the pictures that he had in the strip club, looking all crazy.
Yeah, but
money all over the floor.
Yeah.
I don't think he's necessarily like really ill-willed and bad intentions like that. I just think he's naive and dumb.
No, I think
he's trying to portray an image that isn't really him. He feels like he has to live up to a certain status or whatever.
Yeah,
and
I'm tired of people though signing for Ja. Tired of people saying that he not really like that. I don't even think he really like that, but everybody's saying he really like that. He not really like that. And then you got what's his name? Skip Bayless talking about is he a Crip? Like Skip Bayless.
I mean, anything you hear from anyway like that, you gotta take with a grain of salt.
You asking if he's a Crip or Skip? Like,
I mean, they might be trying.
Shannon Sharp or somebody else. Like, come on, Skip Bayless. What's your inside tell you he a Crip?
Not Crip or anything in specific, but I could see certain goons trying to attach themselves to him though.
Yeah,
and he's making himself open to it.
But that's the culture as well. When you're a young athlete that you're making millions of dollars,
they should be protecting his ass then to not do anything like that.
The NBA should be
the golden goose.
The NBA should be protecting his ass as well.
Also, I think his dad's getting hype off the cloud as well, and kind of like not really.
His dad's
he's like happy to be in the public light, and he's not giving him the correct guidance.
That's the wrong guy. That's the wrong guy to have a problem with.
He apologized right after, like that in the third quarter. I'm sorry,
Shannon Sharp, fuck your ass up.
I think that's the wrong guy to have a problem with.
But I'm hoping it's like a one-time off thing. I think he might have got.
They gave him 8 games.
I think he might have got, and they put him to like some type of treatment too.
Yeah.
So I hopefully he got scared straight from it. And
all I know is the Grizzlies need him.
But stop with the bullshit. He ain't depressed. He ain't none of that other shit. He ain't got no mental health.
No,
motherfucker just being, they gotta what men at that age do.
What they gotta
do? How many men at that age go to strip clubs at 24? 1 million of them. You know what I'm saying? And now, should you have a gun in a strip club? No way. He needs to realize that he's a big-time superstar.
They need to put a label on the counseling to say, oh, look, he went here.
He just needs to know I'm a superstar.
We made him go to this thing, and he's better now. They have to do that.
To me, that's all for the show.
I know that, but I'm saying that's why they're saying depressed and all this kind of stuff.
Just like every other young person coming up, it's about who you surround yourself with. Yeah. And he's listening to the wrong people.
He's surrounding himself with the wrong people. Way.
Yeah. And if you really got an OG,
like, bro, you're rich.
Gonna tell
you're
you
rich
to do
for playing basketball. You don't need to do any of that.
OGs,
he gonna school you the right way. If not, get him the fuck up from around you.
His natural OG is his dad. Should be his dad and isn't. You know.
The thing is, Sportswallet, with OGs don't come to you. That's usually how it works. Unless it get real crazy. You got to come to an OG or you want an OG around you. He's not going to come looking for you. You got to be receptive to that. And he's not really surrounding himself with people who know, how to carry themselves.
Athletes, unfortunately, they surround themselves with yes men.
Yep.
They got,
not just athletes,
but people.
Anyone who's successful who came out of nowhere.
Yes men and tough guys too.
And that yes man shit is not the wave, man, because they're not going to school him the right way to what he need to really be doing. Because they just there to say, whatever you want.
They said to stay on the carpet ride with you.
Yeah.
And whatever makes that happen.
These Aladdin ass niggas. What they are. Ride the carpet.
But like I said, I'm hoping it's a one-off and they critically need him.
Oh, definitely. Man. I remember last episode you were talking about.
It's funny you said that.
He just goes in the lane.
Because Dylan Brooks, your ass. Stop talking to everybody
by the way,
your ass.
And he just hurt that cameraman. He might have some issues there too.
In pre-production, obviously we have a couple different topics we go through, and it was going to be most overrated players in the league, and mine was Dylan Brooks.
Well, he stinks anyway.
He's the new Pat Bev. Just running around yelling, coming to games wearing dumb outfits and
tranny girlfriends.
Damn.
Just saying. Saying shit.
I can't stand Dylan Brooks personally.
I don't think a lot of people like him.
It might be a nice guy in person, but how the image he portrays.
He's got a little bit of an edge though.
He does have an edge.
He's got to learn how to curtail it, and I think that'll help him.
But they don't need him taking 22 shots a game. I'll tell you that.
That won't happen.
They have no other options.
Probably.
What else they gonna do? You're the one who told us that on the last episode.
No,
you're like, I watched Memphis.
They're very Ja centric.
Ja gets into the lane, and just tries to do something crazy.
But Dylan Brooks thinks he could do that when Ja Brown's not there, and he can't.
Listen, he's had some good games.
He'll be 1 for 8, and he's
okay, bro. Anybody could shoot 7 for 22 on the stat sheet. It's like, 20 points and 5 assists.
It's funny.
Yeah, he shot 35%.
He got interviewed after the game too. I'm like, the fuck, 7 for 20.
Nah, Desmond Bane's much better than him. If you want to have a second guy, that really should be. You know what I mean?
I mean, he has an edge for whatever that's worth.
He's a new age Pat Bev. That's what he is.
You don't think he's more like a Draymond? You think he's more like a Pat?
Draymond actually had some type of skills that helped
it's
the
funny,
team. You know what I mean?
And Draymond, hold on, Draymond, because you do a lot of nut shit, but he's a champion. He's won a couple of times.
And he played the game the right way.
And Dylan just leave Draymond alone, right? Because you haven't won any championship.
Dylan thinks when Giles Morant is gone, that all right, now it's my spotlight time.
And that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
He's getting his 5 seconds.
And he's enjoying it. He likes it. It looks like he likes it.
He does.
He's the type of player that
keeps it going.
It doesn't get realized for a while, and then you realize, wait a minute, this guy's actually not that good, and we shouldn't have him have all this usage. You know what
Why
I mean?
are you taking 20 shots? Man? but they're in a bad spot.
Yeah.
But I was watching something a couple days ago about MVP votes. And they were talking how J.J. Redick and Kendrick Perkins was going at it, on the Jokic and Embiid talk. Now Perkins is looking like he was right because Embiid has made a hell of a comeback on that MVP. Now
that wasn't a controversial take, though. It's not controversial to say the guy who's leading versus the guy who's third or fourth. Okay, that could easily happen.
Well, he's not third or fourth anymore.
But I'm saying at the time.
At the time.
You know what I mean?
Second, right now, there's also another sleeper. Don't sleep on Giannis. Giannis, has them first in the
Giannis was my pick.
And Giannis is third. His odds also have dropped dramatically. Both odds have dropped dramatically for Joel Embiid and Giannis.
Only because, the Nuggets have went on a skid.
Yeah, they're not playing defense. If you listen to the coach, too, the coach is great, man. He said, I'm going to be here today, tomorrow, and the next day after that. So if y'all don't want to play no defense or y'all don't want to play with me, I'm making sure I pick players that's going to want to play with me.
Yeah, I think they're just getting, but it's a long season, man.
It's also a precursor, what I said I expected them to do in the playoffs. I don't see them having that finish, and they might win a round or two, but they're not going to win the West.
Do you think Jokic is winning the MVP?
Again, I unfortunately do, yes.
But he wins why? Do you think it has anything to do with what Perkins was saying? Because most of these reporters are white?
I think most
of these sports reporters
I wouldn't say that. We just haven't had a white player that has actually been as good as Jokic,
He's good.
And he's won the last couple of years in a row.
There's no doubt he's good.
It's not like
I'm not saying that.
You know what it is? I think it's a combination. Not only that he's white, it's like his game is not visually appealing. It's like it's like an ugly game, you know what I mean? So it's not like
still effective.
Pizzazz.
Yeah, super effective.
It's effective. Super effective. But that whole racism argument or whatever, I don't necessarily. The only one that's somewhat controversial, I don't think Nash should have won back-to-back, really. That was a little bit, but everyone else was deserving.
Oh, you think that Jokic deserves to win 3 years in a row?
I mean, winning 3 years in a row in general is crazy. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what color you are.
You think he's playing better ball than Embiid right now?
Well, I think Embiid is better.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
You think he's playing better ball than Embiid?
I think he impacts it's just more all around.
Do you think he impacts the game more than Embiid?
It comes down to a lot of times for the MVP, it comes down to winning.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not only your points and stuff. Being that you first in the West, first in the East, all those things mean something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Usually the MVP comes from one of those top teams.
I would say it's hard to find a bad Jokic game. Even his shots off, he has, 12 rebounds and 15 assists. You know what I mean? He doesn't really have a bad game. Not to say that Embiid does either, but
when you put him head to head, I think Embiid will bust him.
Yeah,
one-on-one for skills, but team-wise, I think I'll prefer Jokic on my team. I'll tell you that. But the other thing to go,
you would prefer to have Jokic on your team than Embiid?
To touch back on that, racism angle you're saying. The one thing is, all right, you could kind of bring that up if there was some outlandish If it was inordinate, we know most of the best players are black, right?
Yeah.
Now, if it was close to even on who was winning MVPs, then you could be like, wow, this is a little off, and this guy shouldn't be winning all these. But there's been a handful of white guys over the last 34 years when it's the same voters voting both ways.
Yeah.
So they're voting for black players as well.
Yeah.
I think Perk just tries to.
He likes controversy, man. He likes to say controversial things.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's on the money, and sometimes he's.
But I mean, he's not dumb. It's a formulated plan. That's what's getting him paid. That's why he's there.
Yeah, until you get punched in the face. Until you run into the wrong guy, and you said something about me, I'll punch you in the face. Because there's a lot of NBA players that don't like him post.
Yeah, but they all, there's screens in between everything, so you're not going to say the same
Big Perk
thing
is also,
necessarily with
Big Perk is also 6'10", so
that's what I'm saying. Big Perk.
The funniest thing I seen after that,
you better come correct the Big Perk.
I seen a reel where it was all this controversy with Kendrick Perkins, but everyone forgets how much of a great player he was. And it was a reel of all his terrible plays, throwing ball out of bounds, setting a pick to nobody. It was it was funny. Guy was robbing money for a little while.
All right, let's get to the nitty gritty, man. What you thinking, Triple P, man? What you got for the Mall's picks NBA? Sportswallet already hooked us up with a parlay for college basketball. What you thinking in the NBA?
March Madness, baby.
So I'm taking the Lakers.
They're playing. Very surprised.
Well, there's reasons behind it though.
Right.
They're playing the Mavs at home. They're coming off of a 5-game road trip, so they should be happy to be back home. They tried to get cute last game. They figured they could, get past the Rockets without AD.
Bad move, by the way.
Yeah,
bad move, and I felt bad about it even beforehand. No game, every game is very important right now. So I'd rather take the assured dub or more assured dub. I'd rather him sit out this game. I'd rather just get the win, even though I could see the Mavs game's more important because we're competing with them.
They're just treating him like he's still an injured player.
Bro, there's 15 games less in the season. Just play, man. There's no greater injury if you're more likely to hurt yourself versus a whack team versus a good team. It's equal risk.
They definitely missed them. The Rockets scored 78 paint points.
Second chance points, offensive rebounds. The game was disgusting.
And forever. Just give them
the game. The 90s.
Anyway, so I think with that in mind, and there's also a chance that Luka and or Kyrie could either one or both be out. I think if one's out, that's good enough. And AD has obviously they had a game off, so he should be fresh. I think they're going to feed him like a horse. And also, D'Angelo had a bad game last game too. So even if he comes back to the mean, AD has a pretty good game. I like him home. It's a game they need to win.
All right. So you got the Lakers. What's the odds with the Lakers?
The line's not out yet. If I had it, it's going to depend on who plays, obviously, from the Mavs.
Yeah.
So, all right, if you want to preface that,
I would anticipate them being favorites.
I hope yes.
Only by a few points.
Yeah, slight
probably
favorite.
like 2.5.
Somewhere between 2 to 5, yeah.
It'll be closer to less if depending on who plays for the Mavs.
All right.
I would like probably the Meridian would be like 5.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to give like more than that probably.
All right.
Yeah.
I can't say I like that, but I can see where you're coming from. I don't like the way the Lakers are playing basketball lately. My pick for Friday's games, man. I like the way Houston's playing, and they're also home, and they're gonna be playing a Pelicans team who hasn't been playing well. They went into the All-Star break looking decent with Ingram coming back, and ever since they came out of the All-Star break, they've been.
Rockets have been playing better too, actually.
Rockets are playing better.
I think they found something.
Yeah, Rockets are playing better.
Kevin Porter Jr.
Pelicans,
really
Pelicans.
Sengun's good.
And believe it or not, they're actually underdogs in the game because, talent level.
Jabari Smith's been playing.
They're still not giving Houston any respect, which I can understand.
Houston has a lot of talent, man. They just got to find a way.
They're young.
Yeah.
So my pick for Friday is Houston +6. I like that a lot. That's my pick for Friday. So you got Houston +6. We got the Lakers, and then obviously you got Sportswallet's pick, which is the bag. If you want to put the bag on something, put the bag on that Sportswallet parlay, man. You got Memphis, you got VCU, you got Indiana. Me, I'm Houston +6. Triple P, he likes the Lakers. So that's our St. Patrick's edition Sportswallet episode. I hope you guys
eat some corned beef and cabbage.
Yeah, eat some corned beef and cabbage. Make sure you come to Greenbrook, get yourself a nice cigar at Legend Cigar Emporium. And no matter what, if you like what you got, put the goddamn bag on it, all right? See you next week.